Village of Lake Zurich Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for Wednesday, March 19th at 7 p.m. So the first item on the agenda, as always, is a call to order and the roll call. So if you would do that for us, please, Sarosh.
Yes. Good evening. Commissioner Castillo,
Present.
Commissioner Giannini,
Present.
Commissioner Glowaz is not here tonight. Commissioner Kovacevic,
Present.
Commissioner Morrison,
Present.
Commissioner Muir,
Present.
Commissioner Schultz is also not present tonight, and Chairman Stratman.
Here. Okay, so let the record reflect that we do have a quorum present for this evening's meeting. So the next item on the agenda will be the approval of minutes from our last meeting, which was January 15th of 2025, as we did not have a February meeting. So are there any questions or alterations to the minutes as presented from the members? Okay, hearing none, I would then entertain a motion to approve the January 15th, 2025 PCC minutes as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please, Sarosh.
Yes. Commissioner Morrison,
Aye.
Commissioner Muir,
Aye.
Commissioner Castillo,
Abstain.
Commissioner Giannini,
Abstain.
Commissioner Kovacevic,
Aye.
Commissioner and Chairman Stratman.
Aye. So let the record reflect, the minutes have been approved as submitted to us for the record. Next item on our agenda is going to be item 3, which is a public meeting. So the item, for the public meeting, we have only one item for consideration this evening, which is application 2025-04 for the final plan at 670 South Old Rand Road. It's an application for the final plan approval of the mixed residential subdivision consisting of 18 single-family homes and 18 townhomes on approximately 9 acres. The development concept plan was received approval by the village board on September 3rd, 2024 through ordinance number 2024-09-585. Staff, can you confirm that proper notice was provided for this item?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we had notice in the papers and placed a sign on the property. Being the fact that this is a public meeting, no notice was required to be sent to property owners within 250 feet.
Okay, thank you, Sarosh. And then can you introduce the applicant for us
Yes,
again?
thank you very much. Here representing OSK is the attorney, their attorney, Mr. Larry Friedman. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. Nice to see you again. For the record, Lawrence Friedman. My address is 95 Revere Drive, Northbrook, Illinois. Since we were before you last, and obviously, as indicated, the matter was approved by the trustees. My client has, in fact, acquired the property. We are no longer a contract purchaser. We do own it. And our understanding of the process at this point is that we are required to proceed to final approval, and the standard is the documentation we submit for final approval in substantial conformity with that which you recommended and which the board approved. We have been working for months with staff in order to achieve that result. We've been obviously spent a great deal of time with Sarosh. She's been tremendously helpful. We've been conferring with your consulting engineer, Manhart, and we believe, and I think staff does too, they wouldn't have scheduled this tonight, that everything that we have submitted for final is in substantial conformity. We didn't plan on reiterating everything you've seen before and going through a presentation. So basically, we're here to answer questions, and if there's any aspect of what we've submitted that you'd like us to go into details on, we do have representatives here.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Freeman. Sarosh, just bullet points from what are the changes from what we as the commission sent upstream to the board, and then what work has taken place since it received approval? Just summary.
The changes have been very, very minor in terms of scooching buildings over to meet property line and visibility, as well as landscape requirements. utilities. We've had extensive discussions with the developer on the stabilization of the creek that flows through the north, and they are in the process of working out the final details of that stabilization. That is a very intensive project, but in the meantime, they've also assured us that everything else will remain the same. We've checked their final plan document, and it pretty much is the same. The only difference I would state is that the homes facing Oran Road have been moved forward 6 feet towards the street to give them a distance of approximately 38 feet from the curb. In the past, it was 44 feet, now it's 38 feet. So to us, that was still something in substantial conformance because the number of units were the same, the configuration of the units was the same, the street layout was the same, the sidewalks, entryways, building materials, building design, all of that was the same. So that is the reason why we continue to recommend that the final plan is in substantial conformance with the preliminary plan that was approved through the ordinance last year in September.
All right. Commissioners, questions?
Yep.
Comments?
2 questions, I believe. One is to the petitioner and one is going to be to Sarosh. To the petitioner, I had asked that samples be brought, and if we as a commission could see those that basically deal with the face brick and the aluminum siding, or something that gives us those color codes or the quality that was there. And if you could just kind of go through them, that'd be fabulous.
Well, do you want to pass them through and you may want to summarize them?
Yeah, that'd be great.
If you could
That- that's
summarize them though at the
perfect.
microphone since we are televising this.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Heather Faircloth, representing Papa George Hames, the architects. The building materials that we're showing are representative of the colors and materials that we plan on using for the project, but we welcome any input if someone has another idea of what they like, I don't know. But right now, it's mainly just, we have 3 different colors of brick. One's like a dark brick, and then red brick, and then an orange brick. And then we have, I think, 4 different types, colors of hardy cement fiberboard siding. And those are the colors that we are passing out to you guys right now.
Okay.
And if you look at the colored elevations or the renderings, you should probably be able to tell which goes where.
Okay.
But we also have it coded on the elevations too for which colors.
And again, the village's anti-monotony review comes into play on this, right, in terms
Yes,
of the
it does.
color?
Yeah, absolutely. And they've provided quite a variety for us to look at. They've also provided variations in the way porches are placed in front of the buildings, front entrances, the way bays are treated with the various materials to break that monotony. And again, the buildings facing the street on the west side facing Oran Road consist of the 2-story townhome concept.
Correct.
And so that is like a large single-family home, whereas the buildings facing the east side, which is Bushing Road, will be the 2-story concept of single-family homes with front porches and rear garages. So that we find would create a very residential character along Bushing Road, and maybe even set the tone for residences in that area.
Thank you, Sarosh.
Great. Sorry, I had,
Go
I
ahead.
read a second.
Yep. Second.
And again, I doubt.
And good job that you remembered.
Hey, I'm not that old. And I don't believe, this is to the petitioner, so you tell me where. So, one of the issues that please don't stand it, so sorry. So one of the things that we've talked about as a committee has been the traffic, the speed of the traffic that'll be going down Oran Road. All right, so there is a digital speed limit sign further down, right, just before you get to the stop sign. Is it possible to put one of those, like right outside the entrance or close to the entrance to where they'll be coming into their facility off of Old Rand? Or is that, I guess my question is that our doing, their doing, or IDOT doing?
So IDOT doesn't control this portion of right-of-way, so it
Okay.
would be our doing, meaning through police department or public works, most likely the police department to measure speed limits.
Right.
And we do it to measure and record speed limits so that we can determine whether it's appropriate or not, whether we have to go back and take a look at it. Yes, we can certainly do it. I would recommend we do it after everything's established, when
Done.
people are living in there, rather
Mhm.
than with construction traffic. But we can certainly make a recommendation to the police
I
department.
It
just
would be in
find
the,
that
it would be in the
mo-
public right of way. We'd have no control over it. It'd totally be the
Right,
village.
right, would be
Yeah,
for us.
again,
yeah.
and for me, it's more that that one seems to be more valuable than where the other one is way closer to the stop sign, because that has a clear view of sight,
Mhm.
whereas this one doesn't as much until you get to that point. So that's the one thing I thought it would be good to have.
Yep, we
Thank
can
you.
certainly look.
And in keeping with what you're saying, and I did see in the staff report on page 4, item C, one that I thought was a very good addition to put in, and that was, Mr. Freeman, I'm sure you saw it too, where it says, "All trees, hedges, signs, or other obstructions which could prevent persons driving vehicles on Bushing Road and Old Rand Road from obtaining a clear view of traffic when approaching the intersection or the pedestrian crosswalk shall be maintained at a low height, and signs shall be adequately set back from the corner." So again, keeping with the speed limit, protect safety, as well as the line of sight, that particular note into the staff report, I think, was,
And we understood that was being recommended. We
Yeah.
have no issue with that.
okay. Mr. Muir?
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay.
So my memory's not as good as Commissioner Castillo. I believe we've talked about it in the past. The sidewalk along Bushing currently is a carriage walk, so it's directly adjacent to the street.
Right.
I do see that the plans have the depiction of a sidewalk that's pushed up against the property line now. I just want to make sure, because there's been discussion in the past, if I remember correctly, sometimes we do a fee in lieu or an escrow for sidewalk. I do want to make sure that the sidewalk is intended to be built with this project, pushed up along the property line, rather than a carriage walk along the street.
Yeah, we will be requiring them to pull the sidewalk back, which they have depicted on their.
Yeah,
site
my
plan
understanding
and
was, that's
plan.
why I asked, that was changed to accommodate the
Yeah.
request to staff.
Okay.
And it will be as shown.
Okay.
I'll also add that on the west side along North Old Rand Road, the sidewalk will meet a crosswalk across Old Rand Road to connect to the existing sidewalk, which then contains to our, connects to our Main Street area. And so, but people who live over here, residents who live over here, can actually walk all the way to Main Street. There'll be a full connection.
Awesome.
And
So,
will it be an enhanced crosswalk?
Yes, it'll be an enhanced crosswalk with whatever safety devices that are needed, and we haven't arrived at the final details for that. We have seen various examples, the one next to Lifetime, the one on Oak Street, and Public Works is evaluating those to make sure that those meet our long-term requirements in terms of protecting pedestrians, but also not being unnecessarily too bright or a deterrent to, or rather I would say, a negative impact on surrounding residential property. So we want to make sure of that.
so awesome, great. It's a benefit to everybody getting that sidewalk pushed off, so I think that that's great.
We agree.
It's utilized a lot, I'd say, that route, so.
Okay. Mr. Morrison?
Have any additional questions from last time and what's already been brought up?
All right, thank you. Vlad?
Yeah, I have no questions.
Nothing? Okay. One source I'm gonna bring up, and I brought it up before, and it's really not attached to this project per se, but it's close proximity. Is ComEd ever gonna fix the pole before it goes over and we lose power in the area?
I'll have to let Public Works know about that. Yeah, absolutely.
It's still leaning at,
Still
what do you think that lean is, 30
30
degrees?
degrees?
Aren't you guys concerned about with the? I don't like being. Oh, it won't hit night, you're clear at night, so it'll hit kids.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely pass that along.
Right.
I'm guessing they're already aware of it, so.
Okay,
Just stormed, it might be over already.
yeah, we'll see.
Linda? Just a point of clarification for me. So given the fact that the streets in this development are private,
Yes,
The snow removal will be done by them or by the village of Lake Zurich?
by the HOA.
And who governs from a police municipality type? Lake Zurich, or does it have to be sheriff? Or is it, how does that work? Just out of
So Lake
curiosity.
Zurich Police, because this is within our corporate boundaries, Lake Zurich Police will be the police that would attend to calls. that come in.
Great, thank you so much.
Okay, no other comments or questions? Okay, hearing none. And that we don't have to close it because it wasn't a hearing. We can move to a motion.
Straight to a motion.
So I would request a motion to receive in the public record the staff review of compliance of this application for final plan with the zoning standards as presented by staff this evening, and to make these standards a part of the official record for the application, and recommend approval of the final plan for the OSK mixed residential development at 670 South Old Rand Road.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Scott. Call the roll, please, Sarosh.
Commissioner Castillo,
Aye.
Commissioner Morrison,
Aye.
Commissioner Giannini,
Aye.
Commissioner Kovacevic,
Aye.
Commissioner Muir,
Aye.
and Chairman Stratman.
Aye. So this is unanimously approved by this commission. It is now going to village board for their final. So when will that be? Do we have a,
So we're still working out the final details, pending any comments, which we have not received any today from the commission. So pending review of the declarations of the HOA, pending review of the final plat, and preparation and review of a development agreement. Once all of that is in place, together with addressing all of the comments from our village engineer and staff, we will then take that package to the village board to approve, so that they can then begin their construction after
Okay.
that.
very good, thank you.
And that
Sarosh.
date hasn't been determined yet.
All right.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Freeman.
This shorter meeting was much more enjoyable.
Yeah. And we're anxious to see the project come to fruition. It'll be a great addition. Thank you.
And thank you for bringing the samples, truly.
They're over there, if you'd like to take them back with you.
Yeah. Got enough for a mailbox, maybe? Yeah. Okay, the next item on the agenda is going to be public hearings. So I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing for the following application. Application PZC 2025-03 for a variation of the side yard setback to allow for the construction of steps along the side of the house on the property at 287 Sunrise Lane.
So moved.
Thanks, Scott.
Give me a second.
Thank you, Antonio. Call the roll, please, Suresh.
Give me 1 second. Commissioner Morrison,
Aye.
Commissioner Castillo,
Aye.
Commissioner Giannini,
Aye.
Commissioner Kovacevic.
Aye.
Commissioner Muir,
Aye.
Chairman Stratman.
Aye. So I think we move this along pretty quickly because the petitioner has asked for a variance, a continuation
Continuation.
on this item to our next meeting, which would be our April 16th, 2025 meeting. So I would entertain a motion to continue the public hearing on application PZC 2025-03 to the April meeting at 7 PM.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Call the roll, please, Rose.
Commissioner Castillo,
Aye.
Commissioner Muir,
Aye.
Commissioner Giannini,
Aye.
Commissioner Kovacevic.
Aye.
Commissioner Morrison,
Aye.
Chairman Stratman.
Aye. So this item will be on our April agenda. And then under our staff report, we'll find out if we have other items on the agenda.
Yes, and just as a matter of note, we inadvertently missed including the request, the written request from the property owners that requested continuance as to the reason why they requested continuance. That inadvertently got missed being included in your packets. They indicated that they wanted to further evaluate all of the various items on their site, including the ones that were up for variation. So if they come back with a solution that may not necessarily require variation, we may not see them. If not, we will see them in April. For April, including the one that we just continued. We have another variation for a pool in the side yard on Mark Lane within the Sunset subdivision off by Echo Lake Road. It's one of John Joswiak's homes that he constructs, and this is a very shallow site, and so the owners are requesting a variation for a pool within the side yard rather than at the rear yard. So pretty straightforward, and we will see them in April. So they're working it out with the neighbors is all I will tell you right now. Yes, yes. And one more thing, I would, I had sent you an email earlier today, but officially want to announce that this past Monday night, the village board adopted our 2025 comprehensive plan. So thank you, all of you, for serving on the steering committee, providing your very detailed feedback, which once you read the plan, you will see a lot of it is incorporated into the document, and we are going to have hard copies prepared for you. So we've had a limited number of hard copies for the village board and for you. So at the next meeting, when they are ready, I will bring them and distribute them. So, but otherwise,
Did Jessica have a hand in the compass design for the Overland Main Street?
actually, that came from Public Works. Public Works and our village engineer, yes. But Tesca looked at it and also kind of like made some suggestions as to how it would be oriented with north facing north and with crosswalks in a way that would provide for the shortest distance between opposing sidewalks and things like that. They also looked at the recommendations in the plan and found that a large number of them, or most of them, I should say, were in keeping with what the recommendations were. So the Main Street area plan is actually one of the first implementations of a recommendation in the plan. So we're kind of thrilled. Yes.
Kudos Public Works, because I really like that compass design.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. I
It's
think a
gonna be
lot of
nice.
people are looking at it as being a great identifying mark for the village of Lake Zurich, right at the heart of the community, which we also have written on our banners, Lake Zurich, the heart of the community. And so that kind of like falls into place with so many of the recommendations that the comprehensive plan makes. In addition, the landscaping portion of the Main Street improvements also follow a lot of the recommendations to make this a more pedestrian-friendly area, shady areas with trees, areas of relief with benches, and then bump outs to slow traffic down in the form of traffic calming devices, but still also provide parking. So all of those have been incorporated into the plan, and we're really excited that it will be a fantastic plan once it's implemented and completed. And I think it'll be more of a draw again for people to come down to Main Street area, to the shops, to the restaurants, and maybe bring more businesses into town too, so, with a more attractive Main Street.
I'm excited for it.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you for the update, Sarosh.
Yep.
Any other items, gentlemen? I can say that because we're missing our,
I have one item, one more thing.
go ahead.
Now I remember what it was that I want to
Okay.
talk to you about.
Yeah.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, again, my memory. But when Chili's was going to go in and has gone in, isn't it?
Chipotle.
Chipotle, sorry,
Yeah,
Chipotle.
Chili's, we know.
Sorry,
seen
I
the
already
Chili's.
forgot the name.
Yeah.
So when Chipotle was going to go in, if I wasn't mistaken, it was supposed to be a drive-through or a digital request for, and pickup. Yet I've seen where people are eating inside of that restaurant, which I was not aware that there had been a change to permit
Oh,
eating
that was-
inside.
It was always part of the plan.
It was the plan. What they didn't have was the point I kept making to them to irritate them, was they don't have a menu board for
Oh,
drive-up.
menu board.
There is no drive-up ordering. It's only ordering in advance.
So you can order in advance, pick it up, and then go inside and eat,
Or go
Or
inside
take
and
it with.
order and eat also.
or take it with.
Yeah.
But they, okay, fine.
But you
And
can
that's-
also go in and order and eat. There's a
You can
small dining
order
area.
inside. You just can't drive up to a menu board, see
Got
a
it. So
menu
they'll have a
board.
kiosk of some sort
Yeah.
inside, and that's what you do.
And the reason for that is being the fact that it's a quick service, not a fast food restaurant, and it takes a little more time. So if you leave a menu board out there, you order and then you're waiting literally 5 or more minutes before you get it through the window. So their concept, which is called Chipotle, as they pronounce it, is where you order on your phone and you get a very specific time, and you come up straight to the window, state your name, and they'll walk back to the shelf and give it to you. I've tried it a couple of times, and it works really well.
Works great.
Works great, because you're not waiting, that's the thing. Unless, of course, you order and show up early, and then they have a couple of relief spaces further down the lane and ask you to go there, and they'll walk it up to you. The dining space, yes, was part of the original plan, which also then required the 46 parking spaces that we required them to place on the site. So that was the reason for all that extensive parking that we've had on the site. And I found that the drive-through, because it's so well-timed, does not have a stacking of more than maybe 2-3 cars at the most, even though it's designed for 10 cars. So that's a point that I noticed when I tried it out as well. So it's working pretty well. They're currently working with IDOT to finish off the entrances from Rand and from Route 22. So the pork chop or the right in, right out will be widened a little bit and made a little easier for them to turn into Chipotle. But as far as all site work goes, Chipotle has completed all of their site work and their building work.
And is there, excuse me, any additional information on Block A?
On Block A, as of now, we have a couple of proposals which are going to be presented to the village board on the 7th of April at
Courtesy review type?
So I would say stay tuned. We'll get to see them when they are over there.
And then finally, I had requested a while back, if we could get on a regular basis, whatever that would mean to you, something that gives us updates on the things that we in turn push forward. I see anyways, and I get a lot of calls because of it, is to, okay, you listened to it, it went to the trustees, it got passed, but now there's nothing happening. If there is something that we could get so that when we get those questions, we have that, as opposed to me picking up the phone and calling you or Tom.
Did you want it in writing or just verbal?
Yeah, I would prefer it in writing so that we
Okay.
could all get it, and if it's
Certainly.
just an email or something easier than that, just so we have some context, because I'm not sure how you guys are, but I get a lot of calls. and
So one of
so
the
that-
things
that's
we
it.
do is we prepare our monthly report to the village board. In that monthly report, I insert all of the items as updates to the village board. So I'm happy to bring that over to you if you'd like.
I think that'd be great, only because if we are looked at as part of this village administration,
Yep.
then
Absolutely.
people come to us if they recognize the face.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, I can bring it, I can email it to you or bring it here if you'd like. Either way is
Orlando,
fine.
what are your thoughts?
And meeting would be great.
Okay,
Yep.
at the meeting would be fine. Okay, because it gets ready by the second meeting
Right.
for the village board, so right after that is your meeting, so we're good.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you want a quick update on anything right now, I'm happy to provide for you if you have any thoughts on what's going on at other projects,
How about
otherwise.
the success of Seven Brew?
Yes, they're doing well, more successful than they ever believed. Yeah. Now, we find that this is one of a number of reasons why. One is that they're new in Lake Zurich and they're filling a much-needed void for people to get quickly a drink, high-sugar drink or a coffee caffeinated drink. But also, they have been promoting a number of specials over the weekend, and we're finding that the weekends seem to be a lot more crowded than weekdays, even though weekdays are pretty crowded. And so, yes, we are getting some resistance from the adjacent property owners who are finding that their driveways are being blocked. But our police department has been going over there and advising people to kind of like
Last
keep a good spacing.
Friday,
Yeah,
they were backed up from Seven Brew all the way down the frontage road
yeah.
to
Deer
Deer Path Road, and all the way down Deer Path Road to South Old Rand.
Oh, I didn't know that, okay.
Oh, yeah, in
Wow.
fact, someone put it on Facebook.
Oh,
They
okay.
made the drive, and the problem with it was, and it was shown in the Facebook video, that because everyone was lined up in a line on the frontage road, it's a two-lane road.
Yes,
So if you have one line of parked traffic, and you have someone coming at you, and you're going that way,
you have to wait. Mm-hmm.
there's nowhere to go, so
Yes.
they had to kind of, and there's sections where you can do that, but there's sections where there are raised bed planters
Yes. and you
that are
can't do it.
stone, and you're not gonna be able to
Drive onto
pull
them.
over there. So, yeah, last Friday was, and then someone posted that the reason for that was there was a special.
Yeah. There have been T-shirts been given away, there have been specials, discounts. Huh?
Raffle for Jeeps.
Raffle for Jeep. So, I mean, they're doing a lot. And then one day there was an off-premise sign, which we had to chase down, parked at various other locations off-site in Lake Zurich at shopping centers, other commercial spaces. And we had to tell them, you can't do that. You can drive, but you cannot park your sign, because the moment you park your sign, it becomes an off-premise sign.
Yeah.
So,
So
They've been trying their best, but I don't think they need to publicize this anymore. It's doing well on
I
its own.
did go back and check the traffic report.
Yeah.
And the or the queuing form.
Yes.
And they were way over, what they should have been. So
Yeah.
they knew they'd have,
They would,
you know,
yeah.
it's- substantial traffic, so I think it's
We
really
think
special
that
we-
a few more months of the novelty, and then after that, everyone will have tried it at least once. And unless, of course, they keep coming up with specials like a raffle for a Jeep or a raffle for another vehicle or a boat or something like that, yes, that'll draw people definitely into the place. But otherwise, we find that there's always a spike at the beginning of the establishment of a new business. And then we're finding that this format is very popular, so I wouldn't be surprised if our neighboring communities start having their own versions of quick drive-through coffee shops. So it seems to be picking up. A lot of the suburbs are getting actually a 7 Brew itself, but there are 2 other franchises that seem to be making their rounds in the suburbs as well. So,
So the other item that's expanding it back into our area, and the closest one is going to be Lake in the Hills.
mhm.
Why do we not have one coming to Lake Zurich? Jack in the Box.
Jack in the Box.
It's gonna be in Lake in the Hills. I want
Yeah.
one here.
Yeah, I've never eaten at a Jack in the Box, but I've heard stories about Jack in the Box. You never heard about them?
Oh.
Just never had it.
What was the murder or there was something?
Well, yeah, you need that. Yeah, okay,
Yeah, I know.
so as community director, I want you to see what you can do
Where
about
can I
that.
get a Jack in the Box? Okay.
We'll locate next to 7 Brew and they'll.
There you go.
Okay,
Jack
all right,
in the-
anything else, commissioners? All right,
All right.
then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, call the roll, please, Rose.
Commissioner Castillo,
Yes.
Commissioner Muir,
Yes.
Commissioner Jean,
Aye.
Commissioner Kovacevic.
Aye.
Commissioner Morrison,
Aye.
and Chairman Stratman.
Aye, we are adjourned.